Thank you all for listening and watching my videos. Please subscribe and like my channel Master Coolits. Hoping that you will not skip my ads. It's a big help for me by not skipping it. Thank you so much. Dragon Shadow. The Rise.
Samuel Blake was so angry that he almost turned hostile on the spot. Zane Martell and Alora were friends of Bo Thompson, and they were also her saviors. Samuel Blake was not going to surrender their life just like that of the army of Divine Hawk Camp. If he did so, he would be no different from a monster.
No, they are my friends. There is no way I am going to do so.
General Samuel Blake, since you say so, I guess there is no room for discussion.
If you happen to change your mind, there would still be room for discussion. If it was the request you said earlier, it is not going to happen.
Michael Collins put down his wine glass calmly, as if he had predicted Samuel Blake's answer. His gaze was sharp and cruel.
If this is the case, great. The pills and weapons are business products, so we shall discuss that. These days, the supply of medicinal pills and weapons to the Qing continent has decreased substantially, and it is not easy to get supply, even for us. Therefore, we will have a slight increase in the price of these products. The price will now be 10 times its original price.
10 times?
Samuel Blake slammed the table and stood up. He could no longer hold back his anger. He glared at Michael Collins.
10 times! This bloody man is not here for discussion. He is here to rob.
If the Tang family hadn't gained control of the Qing continent supplies, Samuel Blake would have sent men to destroy the entire Tang family without having to worry about supply cuts. 10 times? How is that a slight increase in price? How is this reasonable at all?
What is it? Samuel Blake, do you think the price I said is too low? How about you set a price? Any price is good for me as long as it's 10 times and above.
With a swoosh, he stood up and stared at Samuel Blake with a sneer. Now all the pills and weapons in the Qing continent were in the hands of the Tang family's Chamber of Commerce, so he had nothing to fear. He concluded that even if he were to set the price 100 or 1,000 times higher than the original price, Samuel Blake would not dare to go against him and eventually have to accept it. Therefore, these types of situations just kept on happening. At this moment, Kevin White's voice was heard from outside of the hall. He quickly rushed over to Samuel Blake, holding a black box in his hand.
General Samuel Blake, there is another Chamber of Commerce that is willing to provide us with medicinal pills, and their price is only 20% higher than the market price.
Samuel Blake was stunned. Then his face brightened up.
Really? Which Chamber of Commerce?
The Windfire Alliance.
Windfire Alliance. I've never heard of it.
Upon hearing this piece of news, Michael Collins' expression turned into a scowl.
What is the Windfire Alliance? If I don't agree, no Chamber of Commerce within the Qing continent would agree to provide medicinal pills to you guys.
Who said so?
Suddenly, Zane Martell's voice sounded. He slowly walked in with a smile. Zane Martell cupped his hands together in greeting.
General Samuel Blake.
The moment Tang Walter saw Zane Martell, his blood ran cold and his expression turned nasty.
How dare you show up in front of me, father? This is Zane Martell. He is the one that embarrassed me in front of everyone.
Michael Collins' face darkened, and killing intent flashed in his eyes.
You are Zane Martell?
Are you deaf? Didn't your dumb son make it clear?
Zane Martell said with a smile. Tang Walter said furiously. He was about to throw fists, but Michael Collins stopped him.
Who are you calling dumb?
Kang Mu, don't be impulsive. Did you just say that there is another Chamber of Commerce in the Qing continent that is willing to supply to Divine Hawk Camp? That's impossible. It must be a joke.
Impossible. Well, open your eyes wide and watch me.
Zane Martell walked to Kevin White's side and opened the box in his hand. There were about 20 storage rings neatly placed inside. Zane Martell picked up one of the storage rings and waved it with one hand. An arc of light shot out of the storage ring, and then a pile of jade bottles appeared in the middle of the inner hall. There were more than 1,000 jade bottles.
This is...
Samuel Blake was stunned. He slowly walked out and picked up a bottle to check. His eyes lit up the next moment, and his face changed dramatically. He couldn't help but cry out in surprise.
Blood-combining pill. It's a blood-combining pill. Are you saying it's all blood-combining pills in these bottles?
Exactly. It's not just blood-combining pills. In the other storage rings behind me are all kinds of first and second tier medicinal pills.
A strong realization struck Samuel Blake. Were all the storage rings filled with pills? According to the calculation of 10 pills in one bottle, there were at least 200,000 low-level pills here.
Impossible.
Michael Collins frowned and picked up a pill bottle to have a look. But the next moment his face turned green. He couldn't help but tremble. He was so enraged, he smashed the jade bottle onto the ground. The jade bottle shattered. His face was ferocious, and the corners of his mouth twitched.
Who is it? Who is this Windfire Alliance that you were talking about? Where did they come from?
You wanted to raise the price to 10 times the original price? I think you're out of your mind.
You!
Michael Collins was infuriated. The reason why he was so presumptuous before was that he had nothing to fear, but now the situation had completely changed.
Fine, Samuel Blake, I'll give you a chance. If you're willing to pay 20 times the original price, I will continue to trade with you. If you were to accept the pills from this so-called Windfire Alliance, I would only accept 100 times the price if you want to trade with me again. Think wisely.
Michael Collins threatened as he pointed his finger directly at Samuel Blake's nose.
20 times?
Samuel Blake's eyebrows furrowed and his heart tightened. This price was extremely high, but he could not give up the supply of the Tang family's Chamber of Commerce.
Get out of here. 20 times the price? I think you've lost your mind.
Great! There is still a long way to go. I hope you don't regret the decision you made today. If one day the Divine Hawk Camp does get destroyed, it is all because of this boy named Zane Martell.
Michael Collins cried in anger as his body trembled. He waved his hand and led everyone in the Tang family out of the hall. After they had left, Samuel Blake was deeply worried.
Zane Martell, what is this Windfire Alliance all about?
Don't you worry, General. There will not be an issue with the upcoming supply of our pills.
There were more than 200,000 pills in front of them, and they were all refined by the members of the Alchemist Association within these few days. As a reward, Zane Martell personally passed on the skill and method of refining pills to them the previous day. Many of them were enlightened by him. Although Zane Martell had made his promise, Samuel Blake still felt uncertain. Samuel Blake had never heard of the Windfire Alliance, and many unknowns existed.
Find me all the information about the Windfire Alliance. I want to know all about them, even the smallest details.
Zane Martell smiled. He had long since issued a sealing order to the members of the Windfire Alliance that they must not reveal their background to the public. It was not yet time to announce it to the world.
Zane Martell, do you know the president of the Windfire Alliance? Can you introduce me to him?
I'm afraid I can't. The president is busy with other matters right now.
Samuel Blake nodded and said to himself,
Other matters? That's right. The Alchemy Conference is about to happen. I guess the president of the Windfire Alliance is swamped with the event at the moment. Have you ever heard of it? The Alchemy Conference is held every few years. During the conference, alchemists from all over the world, including the Northern Demon Country, will assemble and compete their skills of alchemy with each other. Many of the alchemists look forward to the Alchemy Conference, and they will try their best to perform in the hope of creating fame for themselves in the world of alchemy.
Zane Martell silently noted down the information regarding the Alchemy Conference in his mind. He then excused himself and returned to his room. He immediately leaped into the dragon prison and began to train. In the Tang family's mansion, Michael Collins' blood was boiling. He was filled with killing intent. His raging vital energy overturned everything in the living hall. The scene was a mess. On the other hand, Tang Walter and the servants did not dare to speak a word as their bodies trembled.
This is outrageous! Where did Zane Martell and the Windfire Alliance come from? I can't believe this Windfire Alliance dares to secretly work with the Divine Hawk Camp without my permission when the Qing continent is run by the Tang family. Are they seeking death? Listen up, Kang Mu. Whether it's Zane Martell or the so-called Windfire Alliance, I want them all to be dead. Do you hear me?
Yes, Father, don't worry, I will destroy them all.
He was overjoyed. Originally, he was worried that his father would be unhappy if he were to attack Zane Martel. Now that he had gotten Michael Collins' approval, he could do anything he wanted to Zane Martel. On this day, the news was heard throughout the Kangmu Arena. Zane Martel was directly qualified to challenge the 7th level warriors of the advanced level after his 10 consecutive victories. Other than that, there was news claiming that Zane Martel had defeated all his opponents in seconds. At this moment, the Kangmu Arena was filled with people. Almost all the seats were filled up. There were more than 400,000 people in the arena. Everyone was required to pay 1,000 crystals as an entrance fee into the area. Therefore, the Kangmu Arena gained 4 million crystals solely based on the entrance fees. 4 million crystals. What a huge amount. A strong warrior of the expert level or even an above-average association might barely own that amount of crystals. However, the Kangmu area was able to make that amount in one day. The crowd was filled with people booing and cursing at the event.
How come Zane Martel hasn't shown up yet? Do you think he's bailing?
What's the point of coming here then? I want a refund.
Do you know how much I've sacrificed to be here today? If Zane Martel is not coming on stage, then I want a refund.
Teng Walter was seated in one of the corners of the Kangmu Arena. His expression looked displeased. He was here because of Zane Martel, and it would be a disappointment if Zane Martel didn't show up. Previously, he was delighted when he found out that Zane Martel would participate in the Kangmu Arena fight. In his opinion, since Zane Martel had chosen to fight in the Kangmu Arena, he would hire someone to join the fight and openly destroy Zane Martel. The rules of the Kangmu area were stated clearly. If the participant were to die due to the fight, it would be their own individual responsibility.
Young master, do you think Zane Martel is afraid to show up because he knows you're waiting for him here?
I think that's the case. How could he possibly compete with us all?
He's indeed a coward.
The men from the Teng family said loudly on purpose. Teng Walter had more than 5 subordinates with him, all with strong vital energy. Some of them were even 8th level and 9th level warriors of the advanced level. There ought to be someone that could compete with Zane Martel if he does show up.
What's wrong with Zane Martel? Didn't we agree that he was supposed to be here 5 days after his first battle? Why isn't he here yet?
Could he have forgotten? How will we deal with these people who came to watch him? Refund them?
A refund is not happening, not in a million years. I've instructed my men to get Zane Martel here.
Suddenly, the expression of one of the elders changed.
Look, he's here.
At this moment, Zane Martel walked in from the main entrance of the Kangmu Arena, followed by Elora and Gabriel Stone.
Zane Martel is here. Look.
Someone shouted, and everyone in the area turned to look at Zane Martel in unison.
He's finally here. There haven't been 10 consecutive victories in the Kangmu Arena in a long time.
That's right. Furthermore, he has yet to show his full potential in the previous battle. Maybe this round he could create a new record and have 10 consecutive wins again. He might even be able to cross 2 levels.
After 10 successive victories at the same level, one would challenge someone of a different level. For example, Zane Martel was currently at the 6th level spirit level, and the person who challenged him must be at the 7th level. For each win, the Kangmu Arena would give out 2 million crystals as a prize. As for crossing 2 levels, the reward would be even more attractive than that. The Kangmu Arena had no reason to be stingy since they had collected 4 million crystals from entrance fees. They predicted that despite Zane Martel's strength, he could probably skip levels for the first few battles before he was defeated. Teng Walter said with a mischievous look,
As long as he's here, he must die today. I've prepared opponents for him today. Zane Martel, you're going to regret going against the Teng family.
All right, Zane Martel's challenge of crossing levels has officially begun. Who will be the first to challenge him?
I'll go first.
An old man shouted as he jumped into the ring.
It's the mountain ghost of the Aldriech Mountain. He is a 7th level warrior of the advanced level, and he had gotten 6 consecutive wins from his last battle with the same level opponent. He is definitely an expert within the 7th level of the advanced level. He has the qualifications to fight with Zane Martel.
As soon as the old man stepped onto the stage, someone recognized him. The referee admitted the strength of Aldrich Mountain Ghost.
Aldrich Mountain Ghost, you're capable. You can try it out.
Come on, Zane Martel, come attack me.
He stared at Zane Martel with a strange gaze. His body emitted a powerful aura.
You should know my rules, right?
Zane Martel said with a smile. Everyone knew that Zane Martel would only fight his opponent after they turned into beasts. He wouldn't put up a fight with them if they didn't turn into beasts, unless they were humans originally. Even if he had no choice, he would still force his opponent into turning into a beast before he started the battle. Mountain Ghost knew Zane Martel's rule very well. In one instance, his body transformed. All of a sudden, his clothes were stretched out. A long, slender tail was formed behind his buttock. Dark gray hair covered his body. He was a 1-meter-tall rat demon. A grin lit on Zane Martel's face as he watched the scene in front of him. Then he started his Sky Demon 99 transformations, and his body turned into a beast too. His muscles began to wriggle, and his limbs and bones began to twist in different directions. He turned into a half-human, half-wolf demon of the Demon Clan.
Black Mountain Fist skill.
The Mountain Ghost threw out his fists one after another. A few black lights burst into the air, and in an instant, several black fist shadows shot toward Zane Martel. The Mountain Ghost had displayed great strength the moment he'd made his move. He was definitely one of the strongest in the 7th level advanced level. Zane Martel did not retreat but moved forward. He clenched his fist, and a rolling force gathered in his hand. With a punch, the Mountain Ghost's fist shadows were shattered. The horrible force seemed to have compressed the air. Zane Martel did not use his full strength in this punch. He had barely even used any of his vital energy either. He solely used his mighty physical strength, which he gained from practicing the Sky Demon 99 transformations. The sound of explosions could be heard continuously. In just a few exchanges, the Mountain Ghost was no match for Zane Martel and was struck down with a single punch. Everyone was not surprised that the Mountain Ghost was defeated. However, the people who were going to fight Zane Martel next would only be stronger, and the real battle had just only begun. The referee announced loudly and scanned the crowd.
Who else wants to go up and battle?
I'll do it.
Another strong and sturdy man walked up to the stage. He was also part of the 7th level advanced level. He was clearly aware of Zane Martel's rules. As soon as he stepped onto the stage, he turned into a beast. It was an earthly black bear. The earthly black bear roared twice and rushed toward Zane Martel. Its body flashed with a fierce light, and its strength was amazing. Every step he took, a deep groove would appear on the ground, and then it would be repaired by the array. When their fists collided in the air, a burst of the explosion was heard, and then a storm scattered in the sky. After enduring for a while, the earthly bear's body shook and then flew backward. It fell heavily onto the ground and spat out blood. As for Zane Martel, he stood where he was and did not even take a single step back.
What a terrifying strength. I told you that Zane Martel had not used his full strength earlier.
Nonsense, isn't that obvious enough? Anyone with eyes can tell.
Stop arguing and focus on the battle.
Shouts and screams could be heard from the stands. Slowly, the arena battle reached its climax. However, Zane Martel's performance repeatedly renewed their understanding of him. Every time they thought that Zane Martel's strength was being matched up by his opponent, he would swiftly end the battle in a lightning-like manner. After an hour, he won 10 times straight. It was extremely rare for someone to win 10 straight wins across levels. It may be common to win 10 times consecutively within the same level, but not for what had just happened. According to the rules of the Kangmu Arena, anyone who reached a higher level could get 2 million crystals as a reward. Therefore, at this moment, Zane Martel's prize pool had accumulated 26 million worth of crystals. This number could only be regarded as the tip of the iceberg for the recent income of the Kangmu Arena. However, it was quite a large sum of money for an ordinary advanced level practitioner. This was especially true for Zane Martel. Due to the establishment of the Windfire Alliance, his expenses were very high. It was the perfect time for him to gain some money. Therefore, he would never miss this opportunity. Since he wanted to make money, he might as well make lots of it.
Zane Martel, you've already crossed a level and won 10 times in a row. Do you want to continue the challenge? If you continue, you'll only be challenged by someone 2 levels higher than you, which would be someone from the 8th level spirit level. Do you want to continue?
After crossing 1 level, one would challenge 2 levels. Although it was a lot more difficult, the reward was also a lot higher. The higher the level of difficulty, the higher the reward would be. Every time they won, the Kangmu Arena would reward them with 3 million crystals. If Zayn Martel could win 10 consecutive victories, it would be 30 million crystals. In addition to the previous rewards, there was a total of more than 50 million crystals. What a shocking number. It would last a long time, even if it was used to manage the daily expenses of the Windfire Alliance.
Zayn Martel, don't give up. You must continue the challenge.
Yes, you should. Make our tickets worth it. Put up a good fight.
The audience was very excited. They were afraid that if Zayn Martel left the battle, that would be the end of a thrilling show.
Of course I'm going to continue.
Soon, an expert at the 8th level of the advanced level, who had been acknowledged by the Kangmu Arena, walked up to fight Zayn Martel. The 8th level of the advanced level was indeed something that the 6th and 7th levels of the advanced level couldn't be compared to. His strength was significantly stronger. He was in his late 20s. His true form was that of a green armored snake. His entire body was covered in dense scales. With the spirit light emanating from his body, the illusions of small snakes of 2 colors, green and red, surrounded him and continuously rushed towards Zayn Martel. The phantom bared its fangs and waved its claws, emitting powerful fluctuations. As Zayn Martel dodged, he was searching for an opportunity to attack.
Zayn Martel is still unwilling to use his vital energy. Isn't he too arrogant?
Yeah, the opponent he is facing now is 2 levels higher than him. Is he still planning to win with his physical strength?
Many people did not understand what Zayn Martel was doing. In fact, from the moment Zayn Martel stepped onto the arena, he had already turned into a beast and sealed his own vital energy. Therefore, other than maintaining his demonic beast form, he had yet to even activate his vital energy. One thing can be used to destroy everything. As long as his physical strength was strong enough, he could do whatever he wanted. With a loud shout, Zayn Martel suddenly swung his arm and instantly defeated the 2 illusory snake shadows that were coming at him. Without losing any momentum, he collided with the young man's fist.